Okay. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing tonight? I don't know who we've got in the chat. Looks like 3 people here. Oh, hey, Jose Victor. Where? It's 2 a.m., so I'm guessing that's 6 hours ahead. You must be in Europe somewhere. Spain? Okay, cool. Nice. Where in Spain? I've been a few times. You must be quite a night owl to be here at 2 a.m. It's summer, yeah. Are you a student? Okay, very nice. Well, enjoy it while it lasts. Summer does not mean getting to sleep in for me. Yeah, those are the days. Very nice. Okay, we got 4 people here now. The number is inching up. A lot of people watched my live stream after it ended, the last one. Like 400 views, which is crazy to me. I didn't think anybody wanted to just watch an old live stream, but evidently, maybe it was because I put Radon in the title. People are hungry for Radon content. Anyone interested in Black Myth Wukong? Those previews are looking kind of cool, but I hadn't really heard of it. Hello, Henry. How are you? Good to see you here, my friend. Pot of War, hello. Thank you for joining us. Oh, we got a Radon hater in the house. All right. I'm a Radon agnostic. Let's see what happens with the next patch. Finishing a season of Kingdom Hearts 2. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Very nice. When do we think we'll get the next Shadow of the Erdtree patch? Think it'll be this month? I can't believe they haven't fixed some of that shit already. I don't know. I got somebody who's always very optimistic that they'll fix it, but I'm surprised that it wasn't in the last one. You think 2 weeks? Yeah, I hope they do. I can't believe I don't really understand why they haven't done it already, but maybe they're gonna do like a big overhaul of a bunch of different ones. It's the only thing I can hope. Doesn't really serve me any good because I already finished him. The whole time I was hoping that they would come out with a patch while I was doing it so I could just no hit him more easily. But I guess in retrospect, it's kind of cool that I was able to do it before any potential patch. But it was still pretty fucking miserable. I did not enjoy that. I kind of have Stockholm syndrome because now I'm like, I kind of want to play Radon again. um, what was I about to say? Oh, yeah. So I thought we'd just, we can talk about anything, ask me any questions or anything. But also heard that some of the few patches that changed Boston, yeah, they did come after, come quite a bit after release. Lolly, hey, a remaster of like the whole DLC. What would they be remastering? Oh, DS2. Interesting. Hmm. You think so? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people hate DS2. I wonder if it would be like a good investment of money on their part. I feel like that's their most controversial game. But yeah, like I was saying, I think we can chit chat about anything, shoot the shit. I always love that. Um, but yeah, I think it is surrounded by disinformation. That's true, Jose Victor. Um, but yeah, I thought my recent video, my upcoming video could be two good topics of conversation. Um, what people think will be next, what they want next. Um, sure, yeah, you can link to a vid, Pot of War. Oh, the reviews are not good for. Only saw one review, and it praised the world. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I never buy games. Usually, I don't buy games right away. I try to wait like a couple weeks to get the not so buggy version. So I guess we'll have to see. But the reviews that I saw seemed like they were pretty positive. But I guess we'll know tomorrow. Yes, more Sekiro combat. I've been playing Lies of P for fun, for not for the channel, and it's a good game, but it's made me appreciate. I just think Sekiro is so much better, just like so much better executed. Everything's better telegraphed. The parry windows are better. It just Sekiro's combat is so clean. It's so clean. Um, yeah, so I would love. That's what I was saying in my video. Like Sekiro, but give me a dodge roll. I fucking hate sidestepping. Playing Lies of P also is reminding me how much I hate sidesteps. I hate them. They're so ineffective. I'm just a hater, I guess. But yeah, I really don't like them. I would much rather roll. Yeah, it's a good game. I think Sekiro is better personally. um, and it has a lot of Sekiro elements, so it's really hard for me not to compare the two, even though they should be judged on their own merits. Um, yeah, I just wish the telegraphing was a little better on some of the delayed attacks. I think it's like quite unintuitive. Oh, Pot of War, if you haven't played Sekiro, I mean, for real, you do have to play it. It's such a classic. It's like addicting. That the combat in Sekiro is just clean. It's so clean. Feels closer than a boss rush by the in-betweens being weak. Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, it did seem like there was a lot of bosses in the trailer. But yeah. Is anyone planning on playing it? Poise break with the charge attack. It makes a lot more risk reward. So the demo. I'm putting off Black Myth Conquer now, waiting for reviews by trusted creators. Yeah, yeah. I'll probably put it off as well. I like the Fable attacks in Lies of P. I think those are cool. Yes, that Lolly, that's true. And that's really big for console users. I mean, when I first played Sekiro, I was a console user. Um, but now that I have a PC, it's not a problem. You can just mod anything to revive bosses. Sometimes for my videos, I have to do that if I accidentally kill them. But yeah, for console, it was one of the biggest reasons actually that I built a PC was being able to mod games. I was just so desperate to do it that I finally was like, all right, fuck it, let me build a PC. And I had also had the idea of making a YouTube channel, and I knew that I'd need a PC to do that. The quality of footage on consoles is really bad, and you can also only take small amounts at a time. By the way, regarding Bloodborne related content, emulators has a lot of errors. Got Bloodborne on PPC. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's really cool. I feel like they're doing something with it. Something's up. I don't know. Everything seems very frothy. I think they'll do something with Bloodborne. Yeah. Yeah, I think Bloodborne PC is inevitable. I mean, nobody ever shuts the fuck up about it, myself included. I would love Bloodborne PC so that I can take footage. I can use not the PlayStation controller, which I hate and which hurts my arm. I would love a Bloodborne port to PC. That would be amazing. Hey, it's Eddie or Edia. Yeah, I don't fully know how that shit works. Like, I would think they'd have to like remaster the game to get it to 60, right? Oh, it has a 60 patch on the emulator. Hmm. Oh, cool. I need to figure out how to mod PlayStation games. I've heard you can do it, and I know that like J.K. Leeds is able to do it because he does a lot of Bloodborne stuff where he like edits in weapons that you can't get until the end of the game. So I know it's possible, but I don't know how to do it. At some point, I want to do. I think my first like streaming will be continuing my Dark Souls 3 randomizer. I made I made two videos about like uh, of footage of it, but I haven't picked it up since because I've been so sidetracked with so many other projects. And I think maybe that would be a good one to do a live stream. All right, good seeing you, Lolly, as always. Come back anytime. What are they working on, Eddie? FromSoft serve. I love that. That's funny. Oh, yeah. I feel like they are. I feel like there's been so much shit in the air about it. So, yeah, maybe that'll be their next thing. But I do wonder what their next full proper game will be. I just think that putting the Sekiro tier in was so interesting. And it was also striking that it was really like the only major mechanical change, too. So something like that mixed combat system, it has to be on their mind. I could be totally wrong that they'll make a game out of it, and for sure it's wishful thinking. But yes, limb breaking is cool. You could cut tails in DS1. Um, but yeah, it would be cool to see that. Bloodborne, I'm trying to think, like, now that I think about it, Bloodborne was probably. Oh yeah, I'm sure there is. There's like a mod for everything with Elden Ring. I haven't messed around with it too much yet because I am doing the no hits. I actually just did Star Scourge Radon. Um, right before this, I did my no hit of him, and it was just crazy how much easier it was than Promise Consort Radon. It was mind blowingly easy in comparison. It yeah, it like totally shocked me. I was like, what the fuck? This is nothing like it. I had forgotten. Yeah, doing PCR made everything so much easier. I still hate the fucking duo fights though. Oh, they're so tedious because individually they're easy, but like to any duo together, even if they're easy, is a nightmare to do without getting hit. You just have to kill one as close to instantly as possible. It's the only way to do it. Having two of them at the same time is not good. Unless they really have like really consistently hangs back, then it's doable. But yeah, Jose Victor, Valiant Gargoyles keeps me up at night. I've been still just trying to think of like a strategy. I'm honestly like I think I'll just do them last and be super overpowered and kill the first one before the second one can get there. But that in and of itself is no easy feat. It's not even with when you're not over leveled, like even with a mimic tier, I found it very hard um, to kill the first one before the second one got there. Yeah, the duo fights are not great. They are not my favorite whatsoever. They're just a lot of them are unbalanced. Is the problem. I mean, at least with Godskin, if you keep the Apostle is the skinny one, right? I mean, Crucible Duo is hard. Crucible Duo is really hard. At least the last time I played. I was not, yeah. Yeah, so at least in Godskin Duo, the Apostle in the Apostles phase 1, he does a lot of ranged stuff. He's less aggressive than in phase 2. So a good Apostle strategy is to like leave him alone and focus on the noble. And yeah. So honestly, that in some sense, that duo fight weirdly is more balanced than than a lot of the duo fights in the game, even though it's not like great by any means. Um, yeah, but I did not find too bad. Finish them third try, but I think they don't fit. Yeah, I mean it's weird. The biggest issue to me with the Godskin duo is that it just doesn't make any sense. It's just like weird. It felt a little lazy. Um, yeah, it felt a little phoned in, honestly. And I don't love all the reuse of bosses. I think that's the third time that you fight a noble, right? Because there's a noble on the Divine Bridge. There's a noble in Volcano Manor. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the third noble, right? Is it the It's the third apostle too. Right? There's an apostle in the Windmill Village. There's an apostle Yeah, there's an apostle in the Divine Tower. Fourth, there's one on mountaintops? Jeez. Yeah. That shit I'm not a fan of. Like, I don't like the reuse. In general, I just don't like bosses being reused. It's like either make a new one or don't put a boss there. That's kind of my feeling about it. Rival mechanic is nice, but their AI, such as aggro switching, is messy. Misa, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. What does everybody think about delays? Let's get on that topic. You know, I'm working on that video I posted about in my on the community page. So that's hot on my mind. Yeah. I'm talking all this shit about reusing bosses, but like the one exception is the Erdtree avatars. I love them. Oh god. Yeah. Well, you think it's fine, which is fine. You can think it's fine, but it's not objectively fine. I don't think it's fine, but we're all entitled to have different opinions about it, which is a great thing. They are fun to look at. They are fun to look at. Funny story, I thought Shadow Tree Avatar was going to be a super boss version of the Erdtree avatars. I mean, they kind of were, right? Like there are some parallels. Their magic attacks, the orbs, are definitely a callback to the avatars, but just done in a much more intense way. I think there's a very good irony that fits the theme of the game with the Shadow Tree avatar, um, which is that the Shadow Tree avatar actually, even though it's like quite sickly, it's much more powerful. It has 3 phases. It has way more moves. It can manipulate the ground with its thorn magic. Its magic attacks are more powerful. They last longer. They can't be outrun. And yet, of course, the lore in game, you know, the Erdtree fanatics try to paint the Erdtree as much better. Um, so yeah, another example of good environmental storytelling with the Shadow Tree avatar there. Actually, I really liked that. I thought that was a pretty genius way of yet again needling the hypocrisy of the Golden Order. I think delayed moves are a good way to mix things up, but when applied to every single remembrance boss, it gets tedious. Okay, so a mixed review there. Yeah, delays are controversial, psychological. Yeah, I like delayed attacks. Can't think of anything else to add to what was said on the community post. I think good takes in favor of them. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I'm generally fine with them. I think if they're fairly telegraphed, that's my one thing. But I think in general they typically are quite reactable. But it will be interesting to compare the extent. I am Radagon is such a good boss. I feel like he gets so slept on in I've always felt this that like people don't talk about him in their like god tier bosses lists enough. I don't know, maybe that's just me thinking that, but I feel like he's so underappreciated. He might be the most underappreciated boss in the game. I love him. I think he's incredible. He's so good. I like Elden Beast just fine, but I think the game probably would have been better if they just gave Radagon 2 phases. Like make Radagon a 2 phase or a 3 phase like super boss with very different moves in the second. And I think he would have been like good enough on his own to right another phase for Radagon. Oh god, can you imagine? I wonder if there's a mod for that. Give Radagon 2 fucking phases. That's what I want. He deserves it. His 1 phase is just so great. I love him. I like their humanoid enemies a lot. They often tend to be my favorites. Godfrey is potentially my favorite boss in the game. Mulaney is amazing. Yeah. Yes, I can't wait to fight Elden Beast Koi Pop with Torrent as well. Um, it will be an interesting experience. Although I never really minded the running around too much. I don't know. He didn't. I never like. I never hated Elden Beast. I don't mind running. Been better, absolutely. I got to say, upon rebuilding, I think surprisingly consistent. Yeah, yeah, Misa, I agree. I mean, okay. Pot of War has played it and says it improves it. That's great. Yeah, he never bothered me that much. I don't know. I mean, I always thought he was like fine. Radagon Phase 2 is a duo with himself. That stuff missing from the game. Oh, Swaggyro, welcome. Swaggyro is talking about boss reflections and gauntlets. Yeah. They made the deflecting tears a slap in the face. It does make you get the taste for what you could have. I do think deflecting the thing in its current system is that that's one of the things I talked about in my video. I think there could have been a homogenizing effect. Like, what would be the incentive for people to do anything other than deflect? Torrent is a two-sided blade in the fight because the attack where the beast throws blades can obliterate Torrent and then you. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I feel like I'm probably gonna wind up using Torrent just for Elden Stars. That, I suspect, is, like, what I want him the most for. He's so true, that got me good. Can you jump over the blades? The throwing blades? The magic blades? Can you jump it with the horse? Well, you could perhaps. I certainly can't. No, I'm not that good, so I if you can't do it, I probably can't do it either. And I guess the rhythm that he does it in would make it hard. Handy there. A lot of Tauren combat encounters with dragons and such on mounting him for a few moments. Yeah, and of course the classic opening fire giant strategy for the that like wave of snow bullshit that he kicks up is to get off torrent and use the iframes for that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can add deflecting to Elden Ring now. The game is done, and I don't think the combat is built around it. But in a future game, I think you could have deflection integrated in a lot of cool ways, and I do hope they do that. I love deflecting; it's great. No run. I discovered if you get knocked off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reflections are great. And combat was more beautiful the better you played. Yeah, when you do Sekiro really well, it just it just flows. It hits good. It's a great game. Sekiro 2 could be cool. Honestly, if they just made that, that would be pretty sick. Sekiring, yeah, combination of them. I mean, it does definitely have some of like the all-time greatest hits. Thinking of my favorite like boss of all time, other than SKG, of course, it would probably be Owl Father. It's probably my second favorite boss of all time. Yeah, copy pop, same, same. Demon of Hatred is your favorite boss of all time? Yeah, who are our favorite bosses? Love to hear that. Mm-hmm. Owl Father is so great. Oh God. Excellent. Morgott. Okay, nice. That's cool. I like that answer. That's not maybe the most popular answer, so that's interesting. I know a couple people on the who comment on my stuff though, who I think would agree with that. Got a couple of big Morgott fans that comment. The problem, of course, with Morgott is that he does not have enough HP. You're just so overpowered um, by the time you usually get to him. Ludwig, okay, yep, good fan. Mesmer Gale, agreed. That's good. Oh, Jobber, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, Morgott just feels easy because, yeah, Morgott shines in a challenge run. Exactly. Yeah, I know. It's frustrating if you're on console and you can't replay them. It does suck. But yeah, on PC, you just get Cheat Engine and revive them whenever you want. Yeah. Yeah, he's unbalanced. It's kind of weird that they didn't ever wind up fixing him because he is too easy for that point in the game. Not at a technical level. He just doesn't have enough health, and you, if you're leveling up properly, have too much. And so you can just tank him. Plus, you add in all the summons. Oh my god, you can summon Melina, and then you can use your spirit summons. You do all that, dear lord. Oh, I hate sidestepping. So I'm Swaguro. I've been agreeing with all of your takes, but I just hate it. This one is where you and I part ways. Respect your opinion, but I hate sidestepping. Oh God, I hate it. Yeah, copy pop. That's right. There's also the shackle. I forgot. It's like why? Why did they give you so many tools to kill Morgott? He's too easy. Yeah. Yeah, some people don't like rolling. Is what a deal breaker? Oh, sidestepping? No, sidestepping's not a deal breaker. I mean, I'll do it. I just don't like it as a form of evasion. I don't think it's efficacious. I don't think it moves you far away enough. I don't think it gives you enough iframes. It feels clunky to me. Yeah, I just don't like it. And I never dodge in Sekiro ever because um it's sidestepping. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody just has different personal preferences and stuff. Um, yeah, a lot of them could have more health. I mean, I just demolished Star Scourge Radon with a mace, and his health just like sloshed off. It was crazy. Backstepping is a very hard mechanic for me because I feel like you have to be standing still or it just turns into a roll. And I am never standing still. I'm always in motion. That's why like the backstep strategy was just not going to work for me with Promise Consort Radon. I didn't even bother trying. I was like, there's no way. Yeah, I mean, so I was saying that earlier. I just no hit him. I just no hit Star Scourge like right before I started this stream, and it was bananas how easy it was in comparison to Promise Consort. It was wild. Like, yeah, pot of war, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it does make you a better player, right? Like the harder it is. I feel like doing these no hit runs has made me a better player for sure. Even though I wouldn't ever recommend anybody actually do it. Um, like I think it's fine if you get hit like twice or three times, but coming close, that is an exercise to just make you a much better player. Yeah, I saw the backstep talisman, but I just can't pull off backsteps. They always turn into rolls for me accidentally because I'm moving. Move around too much. Rodon was never that. No, everyone loves him. Yeah, Swaggy Row. I agree with you completely. I never got the Rodon hype in the base game. I was always like super underwhelmed by him, and I still am. um, he's just like not my favorite. He's not bad by any means, um, but yeah, he's just not that interesting to me. There's a lot of much more technically sophisticated and much more visually arresting. Base game Radon did get a nerf, yeah. I never played him pre-nerf though. Um, yeah. Midra has like 1,000 times more health than Radon though. Radon base game has very exploitable hitboxes. You can spend quite a bit of the fight just right in front of him, and be totally outside of range of his circumferential attacks. Same thing in the back as well. My favorite boss in the Elden Ring base game is Godfrey. And Radagon would probably be second. Yeah, Moog is up there for sure. Godfrey, I have a video like in my head for like the evolution of Godfrey because you can just it's kind of cool. Like he's someone they've been building throughout the years. He's got so many. There's a lot of shades of owl in him. There's uh there's Gwyn. There's elements of him in there as well. He's definitely like the one that has existed in some form, but progressively changed throughout their entire history more than maybe any other boss, which I think is really cool. Malekith is great as well. Yeah. I wish they gave Godfrey a little bit more health because I don't like Horaloo as much. I do like Horaloo a lot, but I think Godfrey is my favorite part of that fight. Um, but yeah, another example of where you're a bit overleveled by the time you reach him. Malekith is a glass cannon. In Malekith, I think the trade off might be a little bit fair though, because he can steal your health, and he's quite hard. Um, and another thing I think we always also have to remember is that like I suspect for the most part like all of us are pretty committed Souls players, and this game is also trying to reach an audience of people that are not like that, right? And so it's a hard line I think for them to walk. I think for most players, the fights as they are already very very hard, even if for us they're not, they don't have enough health. So I think that is something that they have to try to balance. Yeah, koi pop. I feel like the Crucible Knights really teach you that, though. I mean, he has Crucible Knight moves, so I feel like that's where you kind of learn, um, about the jumping. That 6 months of people complaining was too hard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a fine line for them to balance. And you know what? Like to me, the sacrifice is worth it. I made this channel because I like these games, and I like to introduce it to other people. I think it changes the way that it certainly changed the way that I played video games, and I think it's cool when other people have that experience too. And so if it comes at the expense of like it being a little easier, all right, then like I just won't level or I'll use weaker weapons, right? Like I'll make it harder for myself. In order that it's a fair trade-off, I think, in order to get more people to be less afraid of these games. So yeah. But you can make it harder. You know, I think that's always the thing to remember is like it's so customizable that you can make it harder. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. No, it's nice when that happens, Swagiro, for sure. I just feel for them because I feel like it's probably hard to make a game that makes everybody happy. Um, so it's probably a tough situation for them to be in. Um, yeah, that's a good point, Henry. Definitely a very good point, for sure. I'm almost done with my so my next video I'm comparing the use of delays in Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, and I'm almost done going through all the Dark Souls 3 bosses, and like a crazy person, just by hand, slowing down all of the attacks and counting. I have like sheets and sheets of this that I converted to an Excel. It's insane. But I'm on Sister Frida now, so I only have a few more to go. And then I have to do it all for Elden Ring. So yeah, it's a longer project. But it's cool to see it in data form, make some charts. You know, there definitely are delays in Dark Souls 3. They're just shorter. They're shorter than the ones in Elden Ring. Thanks, Eddie. Sekiro announced in 2017. Yeah, they could. I mean, they can't go too long probably without like making money, you know? So like they're I think gonna need I think we'd see an announcement in the Game Awards. Yeah. I mean, they're gonna need a title at some point fairly soon, I think, right? You know, because now that AC6 is out and Shadow of the Erdtree is out, I think they have no new content, right? I mean, he talked about some medieval thing in an interview not that long ago. You think it was rushed? I mean, they were working on that for a long time. They shouldn't need that much time. It's like a 2-year DLC. Use the Elden Ring fever. Expect something big. Yeah. I remember the thing that leaked the first DLC date also had something for 2025. Oh, yeah. That was a controller, wasn't it? It was like a Ronnie themed controller for 2025. I think that's what you're talking about. But I feel like he was pretty definitive about being like, there's no more Elden Ring content. I mean, maybe he's lying, but I mean, I've said for a long time that Ronnie needs a DLC. I don't think that the storyline is developed enough, which is ironic because she has by far the longest quest line. So I think it would be very cool to get a Ronnie centered DLC. Miyazaki is kind of a liar though. He really is. I mean, there's no way to like it's a big IP. I think you realize that Elden Ring is a big IP. Big IP. It is a huge IP. I mean, I do hope they return to it. It would be kind of crazy to just leave it. But yeah, Henry, I was about to say the same thing. That's what I was trying to get out, but I got distracted. But like, there is no way you can. There's no level of generosity that you can have to interpret him saying that the DLC is the size of Limgrave. It's just like a blatant lie. I mean, it is crazy for him to have said that. Mind blowing. Vadio was like, he wasn't lying. He just neglected to say that he put 5 Limgraves on top of each other. But like, No, even the base map is considerably bigger than Limgrave. Like, even without the 5 other layers, which is itself a lie. um, there's just no way that that isn't like a straight up lie that he told. It's actually a pretty funny troll. Yeah, and he said you can beat Elden Ring in like 25 to 30 hours. It's crazy. He really doesn't give a shit. So yeah, I mean, maybe he'll say we're done with Elden Ring and like literally just not mean it. But that whole thing that you're referencing about the 2025 in the trailer, there was a year or so ago, there was like a controller company that released or like prematurely released something for Shadow of the Erdtree in 2024 and like a blue Ronnie themed controller for 2025. Um, so on the one hand, like I have no idea where they got that from, if they didn't get it from software. But on the other hand, he's been very definitive about like they're not making more. So it would have to be an extreme lie. Yeah, I agree. I think Henry, an ideal scenario to me would be like make a new game and then return to Elden Ring 5, 7 years down the line. But like definitely they can do something new, I think. It's how he lies as naturally as he breathes. Yeah, he does lie. Yeah, many people think that. I'm an open world fan myself. All of my favorite world games are open world for the most part, so I'm perfectly happy to keep to see open worlds. But I suspect that the next game will be linear. I feel like they probably will make a smaller game. Yeah. Hey, good night, Jose Victor. Thanks for joining us. Could upset some fans rather than a safe dish that everyone likes but no one loves. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. But he did say something about medieval themed, so I guess maybe that will be. I mean, isn't like fucking everything medieval themed though, other than Sekiro? Yeah, yeah. Maybe he'll switch. He'll switch again, back and forth. I did get the sense from one interview that he gave that like that I think they're probably like burnt out on Elden Ring. So I do think that they're gonna do something new. But I'm just like, yeah, Bloodborne's not medieval. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Bloodborne's Victorian. Yeah, it's like Victorian Gothic. Yeah, it's not medieval. I was wrong. Oh. I think an Elden Ring 2 would be benefited to have other games to make experimental stuff. To try to do it at that scale. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I think you need like a smaller sandbox to try out those new tools. It's a really good point. I'm excited for the new Kingdom Come Deliverance. I don't know exactly when that's gonna come out. Dark Souls 4 would fit that, yeah. But he also did seem pretty definitive for a while that Dark Souls is done. Even though I would love a Dark Souls 4. Oh my gosh. That would make me so happy. Fucking love Dark Souls. Pop, you're right. It is. It's one big sign off. The soundtrack is a we're done soundtrack. I mean, Elden Ring is definitely like very much, as I said in my last video, is like on the same tributary of the river as Dark Souls. Yeah, I mean, Elden Ring is definitely the combat is very similar. I mean, you can go straight from Dark Souls 3 to Elden Ring and feel like you don't have anything new to learn. I mean, obviously, like jumping and certain kinds of mechanics, but the fundamentals of combat, I think, like are mostly the same. Whereas like Bloodborne and Sekiro are very different. They're still the best though. I mean, it's really it is incredible. Like they have set a standard, and yeah, I just don't think that like the other studios can't quite do it. They get close, you know, but like for as much as am enjoying Lies of P, I'm just the whole time I'm thinking about it, I'm like, or the whole time I'm playing it, it's really quite palpable and salient how much there's like something slightly missing. And it's the FromSoft touch. They're just missing it. It's the gold standard. Lords of the Fallen was fine. I thought it was like an okay game. I had a good time with it. It's not amazing. Yeah, there must be a gem in the years to come, but nobody I think has really cracked the formula yet to really make it feel as good and as clean. Their combat is just like very clean. Um, and other studios I feel like have not there's a clunkiness to a lot of other combat systems that yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree with Henry. I agree with Pot of War for sure. For the 5 minutes the game lasts. Yes, Misa, exactly. Exactly. Oh, Carl, welcome, welcome. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole time that I'm playing Lies of P, I'm like enjoying it, so I don't want like don't hate me or anything. But just like fundamentally, they don't get it. Like they don't get. They think that like okay, Elden Ring is about like crazy delays and making things super fucking difficult, and that is reflected in their boss design with these like insane delays with zero telegraphs, zero. And like that's a misinterpretation. Like they have, and that's what I feel like a lot of these studios do. They just don't fully get what makes these games so great. They're just like, which is so strange to me because it's like we get it here in this room. Like, why is it that hard? Hire me as a consultant. I'll tell you. Somebody from a studio discover my channel and give me $1 million to tell them not to put untelegraphed delays in their games. Yeah. Carl, I agree with you. That's my feeling. It's a great game overall. I think aesthetically, it's one of the best. Um, gorgeous, a gorgeous game. Uh, but they don't get the point of delays. Yes, hire the germ. Exactly. Hire him. Hire the germ. He'll set you straight. Yeah. And like their infinite creativity. I mean, I often think about like even the bosses in Elden Ring that I don't like, it's amazing to me that you're even able to like produce that number of unique bosses that look different and that have different moves, and then you add the DLC, and then you add all of the other games that they've made, that the same studio can produce this many good bosses that are so that have like that feel unique and have full move sets. It's really quite impressive. To me, I just find it like, yeah, very, very, very impressive. Yeah, yeah, Misa, exactly. Although there is some shit. There are some shit bosses that I really that are just like, yeah, they ran out of ideas. The duos when they just like take two of the same thing and put them together, I just it's not my favorite thing. I just it feels like a little lazy to me. Like, do we need a catacomb with two burial watchdogs in it? Like, do we need a burial watchdog duo fight? Really? I mean, I love the Erdtree avatars, but even I don't think we need an Erdtree avatar duo fight. It's fucking stupid. Oh, and there's a Pumpkinhead. You know, there's a Pumpkinhead duo in Caelid. That is driving me insane. The boss arena for that Pumpkinhead duo in Caelid, ugh, it is hideous. That shit is filthy to put those two in there. Crazy. But I love it. I mean, I love the game overall. It's it's a top 5 for me. Ornstein and Smoke aren't the same enemy though. It's not duo fights. It's not duo fights. It's the same two of the same enemies. Ornstein and Smoke are different. I don't hate the Godskin duo. I don't hate that there's two of them. I just don't like. I just think it's stupid that they like revive over and over again. That to me just seems like lazy design. But I don't mind having two. I don't mind duo fights intrinsically. I just don't like having duo fights where it's just two of the same thing. I just think that's like lazy. There are things about like in some sense the if they didn't just revive forever until the health bar runs out, if they didn't have a shared health bar and keep reviving, there are actually things about that duo fight that are really good because, as I've said before, if you keep the Apostle in his phase one, he hangs back a lot, and so that's actually a balanced duo fight. Yeah. I mean, to me, Sister Frida is always a good model. The Demon Princes as well is a good model of a duo fight, even though it's the same enemy. I don't love that. I would prefer it if it was another one. Oh, Solabray's here. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, that does sound oppressive. Yeah, it's going well, going well. Thanks for joining us. Yep. Yeah, exactly. About the demons. It's very funny, like if you guys if you will only experience this if you use PC, and if you ever use Cheat Engine, one of the things you can do on it is unlock bonfires. And if you unlock a bonfire in a boss in a boss room where the boss isn't dead yet, um, they just don't aggro. So you got the Godskin duo just standing there doing nothing, and you just like, yeah, you can. They won't react. You can wail on them. It's just very goofy. Yeah. Or one. I don't. Yeah, you can have a nice chat with the boss. Yeah, exactly. Um, M White. Yep. Yep. Agreed. Yeah, the Demon Prince in phase two is fun. I found, despite it being, I think, a relatively well balanced fight, I found the Demon Princes might have, other than Sister Frida, might have taken me the longest to no hit in um, Dark Souls 3 in my no hit run. It was just very easy to fuck up like one time at some point in that fight. Overall, like if you're not no hitting, it can get through that fight very easily. But with them shooting poison and hacking and slashing at you, it was actually like incredibly easy to take a little bit of damage here and there. Ugh, that was a painful one. Half-Light was terrible too. God, the amount of times that I was like, I came really close to just being like, I'm not doing Half-Light. Everyone's gonna have to suck it up, and no one's gonna care anyway. But I'm extremely stubborn and couldn't live with myself, so I eventually did it. Um, but Half-Light was miserable to no hit. Ugh, a horrible fight. Possibly the worst in the game. Eddie, I didn't. I didn't. I fought the laser. Yeah, I did backstabs. Yeah, I did backstabs, and I did. The only way that I found it to be possible was if you can kill the summon with a single hit. Um, and you need to really turn yourself into a glass cannon to do it. So you need Morian's blade. You need the red, whatever it's called, red serpent stone ring or whatever. You have to seppuku yourself to 0 health. And then you have to use the Hornet's Ring, I think it's called, in DS3 for critical hits. And then you have to backstab the summon with a dagger. You have to switch to a dagger with a lightning infusion. And that was the only way that I could get enough damage to kill the Painting Guardian instantly. And the amount of times that took, she's actually like really hard to backstab. The timing on it is like insane. It might well be like a single, like 1 or 2 frames that you have to get it right before she turns around and just goes out of range. So yeah, it was absolutely awful, 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 awful. And then Half-Light, I tried to get as many backstabs as possible on. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only benefit of Half-Light, is that he makes Gale even more fun. Absolutely trash enemy, trash boss. God, Half-Light is horrible. I will never do another challenge run with like a low health or no hit Half-Light thing again. Did it one time and that's enough for me. Never again. I can say that I did it and be done with it. No oops all Half-Light run. Yeah, I don't think so. I do not think that an all Half-Light run is coming, unfortunately, for the many Half-Light devotees out there. I like what the Archthrones mod did with the Deacons fight. My favorite base game boss, no question, it's Twin Princes. By far. I love them. Absolutely love them. That was the first video of mine. My video analysis of the Twin Princes was the first one that like people actually watched. Which was back at the beginning of April. It like, for me, it was a blow up. It got like 4,000 views. It was crazy. And that was when I still had below 100 subscribers. And until my bail video, it was like the most, subscribers that I got from a single video. I wonder when they'll finish the Archthrones mod. Does Archthrones have a? I haven't played it yet. Does Archthrones have a deflect option? I feel like I heard that it did, right? Can you deflect in Archthrones? Like Sekiro style? I've heard good things about Convergence, but I haven't tried it. Okay, so Labray, you think there was a deflect mechanic? So you can deflect you can deflect body? Vadi, an amazing content creator, not an amazing voice actor. Archstone's Twitter posted they've come out of a lull in development. Oh, maybe a while longer. Oh, yes, can't get too mad at them for doing something so cool for free. But a whole game would be nice. Some of it, I think, is a little derivative. You know, like you didn't know Vadi is an Archthrones? Yeah, Vadi is very much in Archthrones. I mean, he's not like a huge character, but he has a cameo. He plays one of the many enemies that they copy and pasted out of Sekiro. It is cute. I found the whole thing very endearing. He's not a great actor though. um, but it's I found it very endearing that he was in there. Um, yeah, but all the footage, I can't wait to play it. I mean, overall, it looks really cool. Um, it that's funny, Pot of War. Yeah. I can't wait to play Arch Thrones, but my DS3 is stuck in the randomizer, and I think if I like change it, I'll have to start over the randomizer if I want to go. So I have to like get through that randomizer. And they do have some new animations for sure. It's not like totally copy and paste. Yeah, because I've been so I started doing it, but then the Elden Ring DLC came out, Eddie. And so, like obviously that was the content that I like. I mean, I wanted to play Shadow of the Erdtree, first of all. But second of all, like it just made sense to to do that. Um, and I don't want to be I'm working on my Elden Ring no hits and stuff because like I don't want to be stuck doing it forever. Um, I'd rather just kind of like finish it and get through it and then have the freedom to, like my goal for no hits is to do all of DS3, which I already did, do all of Elden Ring, um, and all of Sekiro. And then after that, if there are new games, maybe I'll no hit it and stuff, but I don't have any aspirations to no hit anything else. So I want to get all of those done, and then I'll have the freedom to kind of do whatever I want. And it's good footage for me to have too. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the reason. No, not Bloodborne. Um, I don't know if you've been here when I've said this before, but I have a It's if it comes to PC, maybe. I own a PS5. It was a gift, but I have an injury on my elbow. I have medial epicondylitis, which is golfer's elbow, that I got in the gym a few years ago, and it's mostly healed, but it's chronic. Um, and the shape, for some reason, of the PlayStation controller exacerbates it tremendously. I cannot hold that controller for more than an hour without my arm hurting for like a week. So I can only play Bloodborne like very small amounts at a time. Definitely not to the extent. It takes me a long time to do no hits. Like I need to be able to sit there for hours and do it over and over again. And so there's unless I can use a different controller, there's absolutely no way that I can do it with the PlayStation controller, unfortunately. So yeah, no, yeah, yeah, it does suck. It does because it's a fun game, for sure. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For the most part, none of this hurts. I mean, every once in a while, even with an Xbox controller, if I do too much gaming, I have to like put it down because it will start hurting. But yeah, for the most part, it's fine with for whatever reason. It's something about the shape of that controller. I don't fully understand what. But yeah, it's Googly Moogly brandishing his very fancy moderator handle. Look at that. Welcome, my friend. Unfortunately, Googly, everybody. Yeah, you're welcome. Well, you volunteered. um, everybody has been on their best behavior. So your powers will have to be held in abeyance for now. We'll have to trust him to use them sparingly. To ban me. Yeah, if I could figure out how to give there's only 7 of you here, but I was told that there is a way to um, gift memberships to people, um, but I don't know how to do it. Eddie, I had the same feeling. I was like, him and barbecue cheese have the same profile picture. Isn't that crazy? But I'm pretty sure that Googly Moogly is barbecue cheese. Are you not? I think you are. Yeah, that is the other person who has the same picture. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Literally, Googly Moogly, until I made you a mod the other day, I thought you were two separate people. And then I obviously like had to enter your YouTube URL into the mod thing to make you, and it was like barbecue cheese, and I was like, oh my god, the mystery is solved. No, they are they are the same person. They are. They just have different names. It's a Radon, it's a Radagon Mariga. Yeah, it's a Radagon America situation. You know, two aspects, one substance. Yeah, law of regression, right? Exactly. Yeah. Oh, well, you'll have to send me some something barbecued. I'm a barbecue fan, although not in a living situation that allows me to have a grill in a city apartment. That is unfortunately not something that I have access to. But I will later this month. Going to my dad's house, and he has a ton of barbecue stuff, smoker, so that should be fun. Googly Moogly, if I am correct, you are a big Morgoth fan, right? Is that you? Yeah. Somebody else in here earlier, we were comparing favorite bosses, and somebody else said Morgoth, and I was like, "Oh, this is a man after Googly Moogly's own heart." He's the only other person that I've seen standing for Morgoth this hard, which I love. I think it's great that he has he has my probably second favorite cutscene in the whole. Yeah, yeah, I know you love Malekith and Morgoth. He has my second favorite cutscene. Have it writ upon thy meager grave is such a succulent, delicious phrase. I love it. Beautiful writing. Willful traitors all, yeah. Thy kind are all of a piece. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition. They're all in the shunning grounds. I mean, I don't think they probably like him too much in the shunning grounds because he's left them all in there and he's brimming with self-hatred for being an omen. So I would be surprised if his fans were in the shunning grounds. He is incredibly Morgoth is very self-racist. He's self-hating. He's deeply he's a tragic figure, Morgoth. His character is one of the best for that reason. He's really well written and well developed. He's like one of the most psychologically complex characters. Um, I actually went some time ago went through the effort of counting and cataloging all of Morgoth's move, and he may well have the most individual moves, even if you don't count combos in the entire game. I stopped counting actually because I got bored. This was before I started, or like very early into my YouTube, but he has over 20 individual unique moves. That is totally all right. I'm glad you stopped by. Um, 20, over 20. And I did not even finish counting. So my guess is probably, and this is excluding combos. Right. So this is just individual moves, not counting how many different ways that he can combo those moves. My guess is probably that he has something like 25 individual moves, which is insane. Like absolutely insane. It's an enormous move set. Moog, Lord of Blood, welcome. You always did. Oh, I always laugh whenever I see you. An excellent, excellent username. Yeah, welcome, honored guest. Well, semi-absolved. I have a hot take about this. I don't think Moog is that absolved personally. I think he's semi-absolved, maybe. But yeah. Look at Recycle's guide. It's incredible. Okay, will do. I might need it when I get to him for my no-hit run. Not looking forward to him at all. It's gonna be hard. Well, as much as I hate to end things right when the Lord of Blood himself has joined us, unfortunately, I have been on here for an hour and a half, and it is late. Um, oh, sweet, Googly. I definitely will do that. Um, yeah, so I do think I'm going to shut this guy down, but this was incredible, as always. You guys are the best. I have the coolest, most friendly users, subscribers, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. And no joke, feel genuinely privileged to have you guys come and chat with me. He does like you. Yeah. Yeah, you guys rock. So, so long for now. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, guys.